Okay, to give my summary regard to the chapter 11, which is the build a small network. So, um, uh, for me, build a small network as part of networking, uh, or in the field, you are assigned or you are assigned, or even you have your own company and you want to start a networking company. So you need to build a small network, and by building a small network that you want, or that you desire, you need a network design, a network security, also basic network performance. Fourth one is the network troubleshooting. So all of them are important in order to build your small or beginning of a small network. So uh, uh, from a network design, you should start with a small network topologies. Typical small business network. Small network have simple designs. Only a small number of network devices are needed. A small network usually comprises one router, a couple of switches, and the user's PC. Then a connection to the internet is achieved through a single one link company, either cable or DSL, or fiber or converge. So most of the managing task is related to maintaining and troubleshooting existing equipment. So the equipment is here. You should utilize it and know how the proper function. So the management of a small network is usually done by an employee of a third party company. So the device selection for a small network. So here are the factors that could be considered when choosing a device. In addition to those listed, the graphic includes the OS features. So first, you should have the security, the QoS, the VoIP, the switching, the NAT, and the DHCP. It should be considered in order to have a better performance of network nowadays. It's about the trend. So IP addressing for small network, you should address space is a crucial. Then a company of a network design, then you should have all devices connected to the network require an address. So the address scheme must be planned, documented, and maintained. Also, the address space documentation can be very useful for troubleshooting. So another one is the redundancy in a single network, or redundancy in a small network. Redundancy to a server farm. So a network should reliable by design. Reliability is important. Then also the network failures are usually very costly. So you need to be ready with the network failures that will going to, or might be happen on your build with your small network, because it's part of the job and the work. The redundancy increase reliability by eliminating single points of failure. Then we have what we call traffic management. Traffic type and patterns are should also considered when uh, designing a network. Then a good network design categorize traffic according to priority. Then have the common protocols that have been will be used on our simple small network. So each of these network protocols define the process on either end of communication session, how messages are sent, and the expected response or the response time. So the types of message, also the syntax of the message, the also the meaning of informational fields, interaction with the next lower layer. So we have the real-time application. What we call the real-time application is the infrastructure, the VoIP, the IP telephony, the real-time application. So let's go with a small network growth. So you should have network documentation, device inventory, budget, and traffic analysis. It could be part of your inventory that to maintain or to locate where you are going to improve or you're going to extend your budget. So we have also the protocol analysis. A network administrator must understand the protocols. So an employee network utilizations. Then let's go for the network security. So we have the kinds of threats or the types of threats. We have the information theft, identity theft, data loss and manipulation, and disruption of service. So information theft is a theft, a kind of theft with a personal information or data that are located on the personal computers or on a hard drives or a drives. Then another is the identity theft, using the identity of others in order to cope with some suspicious doings. Then the data loss and manipulation, that is one of the most um, used nowadays. Manipulating of data or making or using the devices in order to manipulate data of others to compromise them or even to harm them. So also we have the disruption of service, blocking the legitimate users to access their accounts. Okay, we have what we call the physical security in terms of hardware, environmental, electrical, and the maintenance. And for our network attacks, part of our network security, we have the viruses, worms, and Trojan horses. So we have the access attack, the attacks against known vulnerabilities and services. The goal is to gain access to information that they have no right to view. Then access attacks to be classified into four types. So first, password attacks, trust exploitation, port direction, and the man in the middle. Also, the denial of service attacks or the DOS. Denial of service attacks are difficult to eliminate. Thus, attacks are regarded as also a trivial and require little effort to execute. Then, although simple, those attacks are still dangerous. So, all of the attacks coming from the attackers are considered dangerous because it can harm not only the devices but also the personal users or the users of that devices. So and for the security, also you need to have a backup, upgrade, update, and patch. So keeping up to date with the latest developments can lead to a more effective defense against network attacks. And as new malware is released, enterprises need to keep current with the latest version of a antivirus that can be accessed in our could be accessed, especially if it's freeware. So we have the authentication, authorization, and accounting. And also we have the firewalls that blocks or that the firewall controls traffic and helps prevent unauthorized access. So it is a packet filtering, also a application filtering, URL filtering, stateful packet inspection. So it is the one who are responsible for filtering some malware. So endpoint security and device security. And for our device security, we should have used passwords then basic security practices, service password encryption that use to our switches and routers, and enable SSH. And for our backup and restore, we have switch file systems backup and restoring. So let's go with the basic network performance. So using interpreting ping results, so it is part of the basic network performance. Using the ping command is an effective way to test connectivity. So use the Internet Control Message Protocol, or the ICMP, to verify layer 3 connectivity. So the ping command can help to identify the source of the problem. Then interpreting ping results. So the U indicates that your router along the path responded with the ICMP. So extended ping, so-called the Cisco iOS after an extend red mode of the ping command. So let's go process. And the show commands, the Cisco iOS CLI show commands are powerful troubleshoot tools. So the show running config, the show interfaces, show ARP, show IP root, show protocols, and show versions are example of show commands. So for our network troubleshooting, the show IP interface brief command. The show IP interface brief commands play a summary, excuse me, of the key information for all network interfaces on a router, as well as the show IP interface brief command can also be used to verify the status of the switch interfaces. So it's very helpful to us having a network troubleshooting packages. So that's all. Thank you. Hope you learn and hope you understand what I'm saying. Thank you for watching.